whiz. Okay, let's bring in our experts for today's discussion. Business and market analyst Seth Denson and financial advisor and wealth strategist Rebecca Walser here. We appreciate you both coming on. Seth, I'm going to start with you. What do you think of this move? $1.2 billion in free student loans. Somebody's got to foot the bill. I have a guess it's going to be the American taxpayer here.
Buying votes got expensive today. Let's just be real about it. You're sitting there, 153,000 borrowers. That's now, I was just looking at the numbers. That's 4 million people. The Biden administration, $138 billion that has been shelled out to cancel this debt, which, by the way, isn't canceling anything. All it is a big boom for the universities, which aren't cutting tuition at all. They're the big winners in all this. And we, the taxpayers, are now paying for that. That's a big challenge as you think about the broader economy as a whole. It took us nearly 250 years to amass $14 trillion in debt as a country. It's taken us 10 to double that. And unfortunately, all this is going to do is continue to exacerbate that issue.
Yeah, Rebecca, what will this do for average, everyday Americans? Of course, as Bob said, someone's got to pay for it. We know who that's going to be. How will this feel to Americans?
Well, I think Americans that aren't getting their debt forgiven, especially, the truck drivers and the blue collar workers that are going to be paying for people that are white collar college degree going into an office every day might get offended. These are borrowers that have owed a debt for at least 10 years and it's $12,000 or less. However, it's still $1.2 billion. And it doesn't speak to the fact that the Supreme Court has already said that this administration overstepped their authority when they did this. And so now they've gone back. And this is the problem, Katrina, that they can keep doing a new program under a new law. In this case, they're using the Higher Education Act from 1965. And they're saying because that gives them the authority to deal with student loan repayment plans, that they can just zero out this debt. So again, as a lawyer, I would say no, probably still unconstitutional, and Congress needs to authorize this as they are the approver of the purse strings of our country. And again, I agree with Seth to his point that this looks like vote buying in the middle of a presidential election.
We've heard that from a lot of guests today.
Yeah.
This seems like a vote buying here.
Yes, Senator Rick Santorum
Yes.
said, hey, buying votes, it works.
And there we see a live picture there. President Biden set to speak at any moment in Culver City, about this announcement, $1.2 billion in forgiveness here. Seth, I want to get to this. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren was asked recently about the economy under President Trump. She couldn't answer. Let's listen to this.
Why do you think that people, all these polls show like a lot of voters look back on the Trump years and they think they didn't like a lot about it, but they think the economy was good in the Trump years. And I know that at the end, clearly. And then at the end when COVID happened and, they figure, COVID happened all around the world. And so, of course, the economy went south. But, before that, Donald Trump was presiding over an okay economy.
Again, I don't know. I can't explain polling. No, I can't.
No, I don't.
I can't, and I can't explain how the narratives come to be.
I don't know. Gas below $2. Mortgage rates were down. I think it's kind of a fact here,
right.
Seth. Your comment?
Yeah, Bob, listen, you're tracking with it. People lie, numbers don't. And I've got better things to do than try to figure out the brain of Elizabeth Warren. But all of that said, here was the reality. Median household income grew at historic levels under the Trump administration. Poverty dropped. And yeah, you have that COVID issue at the end. But everything the Biden administration keeps touting about jobs, those were the jobs that were created under the Trump administration and just kind of bounced back. So the reality is people do remember. The stock market is not the supermarket, and people know where they are now. And they remember what life was like just a few short years ago.
Yeah, we just have about 30 seconds left. Rebecca, I'm going to give you the last word, but I have to say on that Elizabeth Warren podcast, that's the same podcast, I believe, she said that she would like to smoke pot with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
She did.
I believe.
She
so
said
just,
that.
Just putting that out there if you're listening to what she says or not.
Katrina, all she did there was basically confirm to people that these politicians are in their ivory towers because they can't even answer a simple question that, in an independent poll, like 12 I'm so sorry. I'm trying to go fast, but the bottom line is she is so out of touch. And when you go on a podcast and you say you don't know why Americans are feeling like the economy is worse, you haven't been to the grocery store in probably 3 years.
I think you said it exactly right
your
there.
Savings account that they've dipped into.
Yeah, out of touch, I think
Credit card
is what it is. Yeah, all right. Rebecca Walser, Seth Denson, thanks as always for being with us.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, coming up, more American Agenda. We're going to wrap up this Wednesday here after